Chris, coming off a playoff campaign a year ago, graduated some guys, but have some good pieces coming back. Just tell me how things are going so far here in camp.
Yeah, we did. It was an exciting time last year, and the last couple of years we're starting to do some of the things we obviously came here to do, and playoffs were awesome. Lost a great senior group, but we got a nice group coming back, 8 starters on both sides, and so they got a lot of playing time. Every kid here gets playing time, varsity time, so we're not worried about that. It's just we want to make sure we put points on the board this year. Defensively, we've been playing real well, and just had our first scrimmage last night and went well. Happy with our progression, and looking forward to next week against Chagrin, and then moving on to East Tech.
And as always, getting that playoff taste, obviously getting in that extra week of practice and getting in that extra game time has got to be really beneficial for these guys as far as continuity.
It's in high school football, you talk about those final 8 teams that make the playoffs, and that's just a great reward. And then we ran into Black River, which was a solid team, but we had a great regular season. Our kids had a lot of fun. We enjoyed every part of it, and we got a new conference this year. We're looking forward to that. Got some new opponents, but this is just an exciting time, as every coach and every team will tell you. Mid-August and 2 weeks away from opening day, it's good stuff. When
CJ came back from injury last year, you guys really tapped into something nicely there when you moved him to running back. Are you guys planning to stick with that?
He's going to be everywhere. I mean, he's a versatile athlete. I mean, and in the college level, that's kind of how college is looking at him, whether it's wide receiver, defense. He can play a lot of positions, and we will utilize him everywhere. We've got some talented young men to spell him, and our line, even though we lost some pretty quality young men, we got 3 out of our 5 linemen coming back, and we're happy with where we're at, and we're trying to get some younger guys that didn't get a tremendous amount of experience, but they may be starters this year, and getting them ready to go.
You mentioned it. I mean, getting into the NCL this year, it's got to be nice to not have to go all over the place and find games and go to New York and various things, right?
Right. And I think in the 4 years we've been here, I think this is probably the most favorable schedule we've had as far as computer points, also competition level. We're going to see a variety of different styles, but I think it's going to prepare us for the league play, our first 4 games, and then God willing, we get in those playoffs, and we can advance further than we did this past year.
Jack, coming off a playoff campaign a year ago, graduated a pretty good senior class, but you guys got some nice pieces coming back. Just how are things going so far here in camp for 2018?
It's going well so far. We don't have a lot of numbers, but we have the right guys to do what we need to do. Although, I feel like we can definitely repeat what we did last year and go further, with a lot of guys stepping up last year from this last year, because a lot of guys have been to the weight room, getting stronger and everything. So I think a lot of our underclassmen are able to step up into the roles that our seniors held last year.
Getting a playoff game, getting that extra week of practice and getting an extra game in, how beneficial can that be when you have some turnover on the roster?
I thought it was very helpful, because we don't play a lot of Friday night games, so the pressure was definitely different in that game. The atmosphere was different, so playing that game definitely was a wake-up call and got our team ready for what's to come.
And defensively, how many guys you got coming back on that side of the ball, and how are things going so far there?
We got a good number coming back defensively. I feel like our defense is pretty stout and strong, and I think we're definitely going to be successful there again.
You guys are making your debut in the NCL this year. I got to imagine, after years of playing teams all over the region, like in New York a couple times, it's got to be nice to have some schedule continuity, right?
Yep, it's nice to finally play teams around here, teams that we can compare against, teams more our size, not teams that, like you said, in Buffalo, New York, different teams every year.
Looking at the offensive side of things, obviously you guys line up against that. You guys really tapped into something nice with CJ last year with him moving to running back toward the end of the year. How big of a move was that for you, and how nice is it to have him coming back?
Well, he's a very good player, very explosive. Anytime he gets the ball, it's really a good thing. So I think having him move to running back and getting him the ball more is definitely going to help our offense a lot, because he was injured for the first half of last year. So you can definitely see the difference in our offense when he's playing versus when he's not.
Michael, coming off a playoff campaign a year ago, you guys graduated a really nice senior class, but obviously have some good pieces back. How are things going so far here this year?
I think we did we're going to do really good again this year. Everybody worked really hard, gained a lot of muscle. Everybody's stronger, faster. A lot of guys got to step up. I think we got a lot of good weapons to come in and really run the ball too this year.
How are numbers this year, roster numbers?
It's kind of low, but that's all right, because that's what we worked all summer for, conditioning for an hour every day. So we were trained to play like 4 ways basically.
Obviously, offensively, there on the line, Tyler, it seemed like he was around for 6 or 7 years, let alone 4. Obviously, has gone on to the D1 level. How is that going on the offensive line, just trying to replace him and get some new guys in there?
I think it's been going good. We have Ryan Gondek, who he didn't play much last year, but this year he's really stepped up, and he's been filling Tyler's spot really well, I think.
You guys seem to really tap into something nicely when CJ came back from injury toward the end of last year, moving him to tailback, and he really had a nice run there all the way into the playoffs. What have you seen from him just as far as the offseason and him getting better and maybe becoming more accustomed to that running back position?
Yeah, I think, like I said, everybody's really gotten a lot bigger. Like, last year I was like 190. I'm like 225 now, so I've put on a lot of weight. But he's definitely worked his butt off this year on the off season too, putting on weight, getting faster, stronger, and ready for the season.
What particularly have you guys been doing in the weight room in order to add that kind of bulk? You mentioned you're 30 pounds bigger than you were a year ago. What's been the biggest key to that?
During the off season, I would lift in the morning and at night, so I was make sure I was getting the maximum amount of work in as possible. And I think just doing like heavy weight stuff to get yourself bigger instead of doing like low reps, kind of lightweight. I think doing heavy weight, low reps is really getting your muscle stronger, and you're getting stronger.
This will be your guys' first year in the North Coast League. Obviously, last handful of years, you guys have had to look all over the region to get games. I mean, crying out loud, you're playing games out in New York and that sort of thing. It's got to be nice to have some schedule continuity this year and see some more local teams, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun because we get to play like a lot of teams we really haven't played before. I mean, we played Warrensville Heights our freshman year just as a JV game, but coming back playing the varsity game is going to be something like really tough game, but I'm looking forward to it.